Hello students, welcome to Pi Academy, the place for mathematics and science. Dear students, in today's class we are going to continue the chapter gravitation, and do remember this is second period of this chapter. In the first period we come across some of the important concepts. Now let's go for recalling one by one. The first one is the definition of gravitation. Gravitation is nothing but gravitational force. How do you define it? Yeah. The force of attraction between any two bodies in the universe because of their masses is called gravitation, right? And even we come across one more word used by Sir Isaac Newton, that is gravity. Define this one. It is the force of attraction between the earth and any object which is lying on the earth or above the earth is called gravity. Then, not only this, even we come across another important statement given by Sir Isaac Newton, that is universal law of gravitation. What is its statement? It is every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Is it not? Then using this universal law of gravitation, we derive the formula to find out gravitational force. Then what is that formula? Very good. It is F is equal to G into M1 M2 by D square. Here what do you call G? G is gravitational constant. Then what is its value? It is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Then even we have come to know that how will be the gravitational force as the distance increases or decreases through a law. What is that? It is inverse square law. And what is its statement? It is the gravitational force acting between any two bodies is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Now could you tell what will be the gravitational force as the distance gets doubled? As the distance gets doubled, then gravitational force decreases by 4 times. As the distance is tripled, then the gravitational force decreases by 9 times. As the distance is reduced to half, then the gravitational force increases by 4 times. Followed? Okay, this much was learned in the last class. Now, in today's class, we are going to find out the value of gravitational constant. Actually, who found out the value of this? He is Henry Cavendish. Now, we can show with the calculation as well. Not only this, we will solve some problems on gravitational force. Okay, let me go for writing that. Dear students, before going to numerical problems, now let me give you some more information about the gravitational force. Then here, gravitational formula is, it is G into M1 M2 by D square. Right? There are some cases, depends on the position of the object on the surface of the earth. It may be on the surface of the earth, it may be away from the earth. In general, when the two objects with their masses M1 and M2 are taken and the distance between them is D is taken, then we can write this formula. But if the object is on the surface of the earth, here I write, when the object is on the surface of the earth, then how do you write the formula? Look here I am taking the earth and the object is on the surface of the earth. Let us take the mass of the object as small m. and mass of the earth as capital M. Then what is the distance between the center of the earth and the object? It is radius of the earth. Then how do you write the formula? It is very good. F is equal to G into G is common. M1 M2. Here M into capital M divided by D square. Here distance is radius because the object is on the surface of the earth. It is R square. Similarly, even it was asked in the examination that when the object is h meter away from the surface of the earth, when the object is at a height of h meter from the surface of the earth, then how to write the formula? Here, look at the point. Say, this is earth and it is its center. The object is here. Its mass is taken as small m. Mass of the earth is taken as capital E. And the distance between them, you may take D or else. See that this is radius of the earth and it has been clearly mentioned that the object is at a height of h meter from the surface of the earth. From the surface, here h. Then we can write the gravitational formula or gravitational force formula as G into M, capital M, by the distance from center of the object to the center of earth. It is R plus H. D square is there, so that R plus H whole square. Followed? Once I tell you, this is the general formula and this is the gravitational force when the object is on the surface of the earth, here when the object is away from the surface of the earth. So dear students, now you are going to write it in note. So this is first point and the second point and this is third point. Afterwards, we are moving to some numerical problems. Dear students, here I have taken the first numerical problem. Please go through this. Is important one. The statement is the mass of the earth is, we are very familiar with that, it is 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg. And that of the moon is 7.4 into 10 raised to the power 22 kg. If the distance between earth and the moon, that is also familiar with us, that is 3,84,000, that can be written as 3.84 into 10 raised to the power 5 kilometer. And we should calculate the force exerted by the earth on the moon. Did you understand? Here we are going to find out the gravitational force acting between the earth and the moon, or what amount of gravitational force is exerted by the earth on the moon. That should be calculated. So pausing the video, first you will go for copying this statement. After that, please go on writing with me and listen my explanation carefully and start writing with me. Yes. Here first, let's go for writing data. It is, they have given mass of the earth, right? Mass of earth. You can take this as M1, which is 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg. And that of the moon. So here we will write mass of moon. You may take this as M2, which is equal to 7.4 into 10 raised to the power 22 kg. The distance between earth and moon. Here I will write distance between the earth and the moon. How much? It is 3,84,000 kilometer. That is 3.84 into 10 raised to the power 5 kilometer. Observe it. Here the masses are given in SI unit. But distance, is it in SI unit? No. Then what is the SI unit of distance? It is meter. Then convert this into meter. So 3.84 into 10 raised to the power 5 kilometer. Kilo means how much? 1000. 1000 is nothing but 10 raised to the power 3 meter. It is equal to 3.84 into 10 raised to the power. It is 5 plus 3, 8. Do you know why? Because according to the law of exponent, a raised to the power m into a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m plus n. 5 plus 3 is 8 meter. And we are going to calculate the force exerted by the earth on the moon. That is F. Force on the moon. Moon, you may call it as F, which is question mark. Written up. Okay. Calculation part. Again, you should write with me. Dear students, we know that the force exerted by one object on the another object can be written as, that is gravitational force acting between the objects. Force exerted by the earth on the moon. Moon is given by, how do you write? Yes, it is F is equal to G into m1 m2 by d square. Dear students, I told you G is gravitational constant and you must remember that value. It is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Okay, let's go for taking substitution. Here. Now, please stop writing. Observe the calculation carefully. What is the value of G? G is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11. The unit is Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2 into m1. What is m1? m1 is mass of the earth. It is 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg. Right? Next, m2. m2 is mass of the moon. It is 7.4 into 10 raised to the power 22 kg divided by d square. What is the distance between d square? Is nothing but the distance between earth and the moon. It is 3.84 into 10 raised to the power 8 whole square is there. Whole square. Then it is meter. So as square is there, I'll write meter square. Now look here. Meter square, get cancelled. Kg raised to the power 1, raised to the power 1. It is 2. Here minus 2. These two get cancelled. What will remain? Newton. What is Newton? It is the unit of force. So unit of gravitational force is Newton. Then how to solve this? Dear students, when you are solving the problem like this, having the exponents, then first you should write the numbers or decimal numbers on one side and all the exponents on the other side. Here I'll write, look here, 6.67 into 6 into 7.4, and now remaining, it is 10 raised to the power minus 11, 24 and 22. I'll write minus 11 plus 24 plus 22. It is according to the law of exponent. Look here, 3.84 into 10 raised to the power 8 whole square is there. Now we can write it as 3.84 into 3.84, 2 times. Even 10 raised to the power 8 whole square. Look here, 10 raised, a raised to the power m whole raised to the power n can be written as a raised to the power mn. 10 raised to the power 8 whole square, 10 raised to the power 8 into 2, it is 16, 10 raised to the power 16. Followed. Next, in the further step, here let us convert decimals into whole numbers. It will be easier for calculation. Look here after decimal, 2 digits are there. For your reference I am writing denominator 20. Here after decimal 1 digit, denominator 1 more 0. Here after in the denominator, after 2 digits, sorry, after the decimal we have 2 digits, numerator 20. 2 digits, numerator 20, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 0. 3 zeros get cancelled and 1 0 will remain in the numerator. So here I'll write 667 into 6 into 74 into 10 raised, see 1 0 will remain, that is 10 into 10 raised to the power. See that minus 11 plus 22, 11. 11 plus 24, this is 35. Followed? Now, transfer 10 raised to the power 16 to the numerator. It becomes 10 raised to the power minus 16. Whole divided by 384 into 384. See that all the decimals are removed. Clear? Now, you write up to here. Then after that, I'll explain the further calculation. Copy from there to here. Hope that you have written. Now, again you should observe. Look here. Here we have even numbers. Here also we have even numbers. There is a chance of cancellation. Look here. These two can be cancelled by 3. 3 2s are. Then this is 3 1s are. This is 3 2s are. 2 will remain. It becomes 24. 3 8s are 24. Followed? Next. Here again 2 1s are. I'm sorry, 2 1s are, 1 will remain, it becomes 18, 2 9s are, then this is 2 2s are. Again we have even number, cancel it by 2, 2 3s are 6, 1 will remain 14, 2 7s are. Then this is 2 6 are, 2 4s are. Followed? Next, is it possible to divide it by 37? See that 37 6 are 180 will not come. So directly we can go for multiply. This is equal to, let us multiply 667 and 37. Multiply 64 and 192. Let's go for multiplying it. Please check that. On multiplying 667 and 37. Have you got this one? 24,679. Alright, 24,679 into, look here, 10 raised to the power 1 is there, 35 minus 16. It is 10 raised to the power 1 plus 35, 36 minus 60. Divided by 64 into 192. Here I am multiplying. Hope that you have got the same. It is 12,288. Followed? Now, let's go for dividing 24,679 by 12,288. How much are? Approximately, if you take 12,300, it will be 2s are 24,600. So, I'll take 2. 2 8s are 16, carry 1. 2 8s are 16 plus 1, 17, carry 1. 2 2s are 4 plus 1, 5. 2 2s are 4 and 2 1s are 2. Now, here 9 minus 6, 3, 0, 1, 0, 0. 103 is not divisible by 12,288. Hence, I put decimal. Let me take 10. It becomes 1030. Again, it is not divisible by 12,288. I take one more 0. It is 0. It is 10,300. It is also not divisible. I'll take one more 0. It is 1,03,000. If it is 1,03,000, this will be 12 sevens are 90s, 12 fives are 60. This will be more. Sevens are 8s will come, right? 8s are. So we can write approximate value. It is 2.008 into 10 raised to the power 36 minus 60. It is 10 raised to the power 20. Understood? And this can be approximately can be written as 2.0, it's close to 1 into 10 raised to the power 20 Newton. So this much amount of force is exerted by the earth on on the moon with a distance of 3,84,000 kilometers. Followed? Dear student, even this was asked the examination for 1 mark. Just they have asked the value. The force exerted by the earth on the moon is dash. What will write? It is 2.01 into 10 raised to the power 20 Newton. Here I'll write the conclusion. Therefore, the force exerted by the earth on the moon is how much? It is 2.01 into 10 raised to the power 20 Newton. Yes, please go for copying. Dear students, please go through the second one. It is calculate the force of attraction between a man and the earth. Mass of the man is given, it is 80 kg, and the earth is well known to us, that is 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg. And the radius of the earth is also given, it is 6.4 into 10 raised to the power 3 kilometer. And do remember, the man is on the surface of the earth. So that is why the distance between the center of the earth to the center of the man is radius of the earth. Followed? So, pausing the video, you have to copy this statement. After that, you have to start writing the data between. Yes, it is data. I'll write. First, I'll write mass of the man. Mass of a man. You may take this as M1. It is 80 kg. Next, mass of the earth. How much? It is M2, which is equal to 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg. Please do remember this. And radius of the earth is given. Radius of the earth. Just you may take this as d only, because we are going to use the formula F is equal to G into M1 M2 by d square. So d is equal to 6.4 into 10 raised to the power 3 kilometer. Here also the unit of distance is kilometer. Convert this into SI unit. So 6.4 into 10 raised to the power 3 into kilo 10 raised to the power 3 meter. It will be 6.4 into 10 raised to the power 6 meter. Then the gravitational constant G has not been given, but you must remember that it is universal constant. How much? 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. With this information, we are going to find out the gravitational force, that is F. Now, let's go for calculation. Could you tell the formula that we go for using to find out the gravitational force acting between the man and the earth? Yes, you are right. This is F is equal to G into M1 M2 by d square. Okay, dear students, please go for copying up here and then go for substitution. Afterwards, I'll write it. Dear students, if you have calculated, just observe here. Here we can write the force acting between earth and man is given by, how do you write? This is F is equal to G into M1 M2 by d square. Then here, what is G? G is gravitational constant. That value has been written. It is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2 into M1. M1 is the mass of a man. How much it is? It is 80 kg into M2, mass of the earth. We are very familiar with that. This is 6 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg whole divided by d square. That is the radius of the earth. It is 6.4 into 10 raised to the power 6 whole raised to the power 2, because d square is there. I have already taught you how to solve this type of problem. How? First, we have to write all the numbers on one side, exponents on the other side. The numbers are 6.67 into 80. 80 can be written as 8 into 10, right? Then into 6. So 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 into 10 raised to the power 24. Hope that you have understood. See that? 6.67, then 80 is written as 8 into 10, then 6 has been written as it is. 10 raised to the power minus 11 into 10 raised to the power 24. In the denominator, we have 6.4 into 10 raised to the power 6 whole square. So each term should be written twice. 6.4 into 6.4 into 10 raised to the power 6 whole raised to the power 2 can be written as 6 raised to the power, 10 raised to the power 12. This is equal to, then what is the next step? So convert all the decimals into fractions. Here are the whole numbers. See 6.67. In the numerator, after decimal we have 2 digits. In the denominator I will take 2 zeros. In the denominator, after the decimal 1 digit, 1 0. Here 1 digit, 1 0. See that 2 zeros get cancelled. Now we can write 667 into 8 into 6 into 10 raised to the power 1 minus 11 in plus 24 according to law of exponent into, take 10 raised to the power 12 to the numerator, it becomes minus 12. Followed? Then divided by 64 into 64. Now this is equal to 667 into, now here we have a chance of cancellation. See that 8 ones are 8, 8s are 64. Here 6 and 8 are there, they are even. So 2 4s are, 2 3s are. Further, not possible. Directly go for multiplying. See 667 into 3. 3 7s are 21. 2 is the carry. 3 6 are 18 plus 2, 20. 2 is the carry. Then 3 6 are again 18 plus 2, 20. 2001. Into, see that 10 raised to the power. Here 1 minus 11 is minus 10. Right? Minus 10 plus 24. It is 14. 10 raised to the power 14. This is minus 12. Divided by, here 4 into 64. 4 4s are 16, carry 1. 4 6 are 24 plus 1, 25. Now this is equal to, please go for multiplying these two. Then afterwards we shall go for dividing. Observe it. Here we have already multiplied, so no need to write 667. Now let us divide 2001 by 256. Look, if you take approximately 260, see 268 side it will be more than 2000. So now let's go for taking 7 side. Let's start dividing. Observe. Here 256 7s are. 7 6 are 42. 4 is the carry. 7 5s are 35 plus 4, 39. 3 is the carry. 7 2s are 14 plus 3, 17. Now subtract. Here 11 minus 2 is 9. 9 minus 9, 0. Then again take. Here 9 will remain 9 minus 7. It is 2. 209. Right? Here 256 is there. We can take 0, here 0. 2090. Approximately we can take 8. Followed? So we can write this as 7.1 into 10 raised to the power 14 minus 12. It is 2. So this much force. The force exerted by the earth on the man is 7.1 into 10 raised to the power 2 Newton. Copy this. Dear students, so this is, we have put decimal and we have taken 0. And approximately we can take 8 sir. So this will be 7.8. So please correct it. 7.8 into 10 raised to the power 2 Newton. Dear students, we have one more statement problem. Please go through this. See, first one, we found out the force exerted by the earth on the moon. Second one, the force exerted by the earth on the object, and the object was on the surface of the earth. But this one, bit different one, and you can tell the answer easily soon after finishing the statement. Look here. A sphere of mass 20 kg is attracted by another sphere of 10 kg. When their centers are 20 centimeter apart with a force of 3.3 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Newton. Calculate the constant of gravitation. Nothing but you are going to find out the gravitational constant. Then could you tell what should be our answer? It is, very good, it is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2, right? Okay, dear students, now pausing the video, you just go for copying this statement. After that, you may start writing the data with me. See, in data, okay, let me write the mass of first sphere. Mass of first sphere, how much? You may call it as M1, which is equal to 20 kg, is attracted by another sphere, second sphere. That means second sphere will attract first sphere, but the mass of first sphere is more. So that is why here we got this much value, that is force acting between those two. Next, write mass of second sphere. It is M2, which is equal to 10 kg. What is the distance between their centers? It is 20 centimeter. Right. Distance between first and second spheres. It is D is equal to 20 centimeter. Observe here. Here the distance is given in centimeter. Is it the SI unit? No. Then what is the SI unit of distance? It is meter. Then convert this into meter. How? Very simple. 20 by centimeter can be converted into meter as by dividing it by 100 meter. 0, 0 get cancelled. So 2 by 10, it is nothing but 0.2 meter. Followed? Okay. Or centi. Centi means we know that 10 raised to the power minus 2. You can write like that also. Next, force is given. Force between the spheres. Between the spheres, that is F is equal to 3.3 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Newton. What we are going to calculate? We are going to calculate acceleration, gravitational constant, that is capital G. Go for calculation. Right. The force of attraction between, or the gravitational force acting between, force of attraction between two spheres is given by, how do you write? It is F is equal to G into M1 M2 by D square. Here we want G. We are going to calculate the gravitational constant. Solve G. G is equal to F into cross multiply D square by M1 M2. Followed? Now go for taking the substitution. This is equal to force. How much is the force? Force is, it is 3.3 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Newton. Here I will write the unit, Newton. Next, D square. What is the distance between the spheres? It is 0.2 meter. So here I will write into 0.2 whole square. So distance, unit of distance is meter, and square is there, meter square. Whole divided by M1 into M2. M1 is 20 kg. 20 kg. into M2, that is 10 kg. Here into kg. Followed? Now this is equal to, this can be written as 3.3 into 0.2 whole square is there. This can be written as 0.2 into 0.2 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 all divided by 20 into 10. And the unit Newton meter square, kg into kg, kg square. Take that to the numerator, kg to the power minus 2. Now it should be simplified. How do you go for simplifying? Look here 20 is there. 20 can be written as 2 into 10. Now this is 3.3 into 0.2 into 0.2. What is the product? Here 2 2s are 4. It will be 0.04 because here after decimal 1 digit. Total it will be 2 digits. Into 10 raised to the power minus 7. Here 10 into 10, 100 or else 10 square. Take that to the numerator. It becomes 10 raised to the power minus 2. Next, divided by 2. This is equal to 3.3 into, cancel this. 1s are, it is 0.02s are. 0.02 into 10 raised to the power minus 9. This is equal to, multiply. Here 33, 2s are, it is 66. Now observe, after decimal 1 digit, here 2 digits, total 3 digits. So it will be 0.066 into 10 raised to the power minus 9. Now this can be written as, okay, we will go for taking the decimal after 6 to express that in scientific form. The value, the whole number part should be less than 10 or equal to 10. Hence I take 6.6. Look here. I have taken the decimal after 2 digits. Hence into 10 raised to the power minus 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 9. Here I will write that this is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to the power. What is minus 2 minus 9? Is minus 11. See, what is the value of gravitational constant? We write approximately it as 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Okay, the value is same and unit is Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Conclusion. Therefore, the constant of gravitation, gravitation is 6.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Followed? Okay. Dear students, now we are going to copy up to here. After this, we have the textbook questions in the page number 134. We will go for answering them. Dear students, in the textbook, they have given the blue questions in the page number 134. I have written the same. Look here, the first one is state the universal law of gravitation. We have already come to know that in the very first period only we have stated that one. Once you recall that, what is the statement? Yes, according to universal law of gravitation, every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force which is directly proportional to the product of the masses of two bodies and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them, right? So what you should do is you have to copy this question and write the statement yourself. So answer here and write already stated. Next, second one, please go through this. Write the formula to find the magnitude of gravitational force between the earth and an object on the surface of the earth. Will you go for taking the formula F is equal to G into M, M1 into M2 by D square? Yeah, of course can be taken, but here what has been given? The object is on the surface of the earth. Okay, here is the earth and it is its center, then and the object is on the surface of the earth. Then the distance between these two will be the distance between the center of the object and the center of the earth will be the radius of the earth. So the distance from center of the object to the earth is negligible. So let us take mass of an object as small m, mass of the earth as capital M. Distance between them is capital R. Then based on that we shall write the formula. Yes, please go on writing with me. Here, let M be the mass of an object. Capital M be the mass of the earth, and the distance between their centers be capital R. Then the gravitational force is given by, how do you write? Gravitational force is capital F, which is equal to m1 into m2 by d square. m1 mass of the earth, capital M, and m2 mass of the object, small m, by distance r, distance square, r square. But one more term is missing. Which is that? Very good. It is capital G. Here we write F is equal to G into capital M, small m by r square. This is the formula. So we have answered for both. Okay, dear students, please go for copying up to here. And after this, we are moving to another important concept. Dear students, every day we see many objects around us, right? And some objects are on the ground. They are all called terrestrial bodies, right? And some objects can be seen in the sky. Maybe the day sky or night sky. In night sky we can see the plenty of objects, and they are called heavenly bodies, also called celestial bodies. Dear students, the motion of terrestrial bodies, that is the bodies which move on the ground, they are observed by a great scientist, that is Sir Isaac Newton, and he made the laws. They are known as Newton's laws of motion, which have already been learned in the second chapter, that is force and the laws of motion. Whereas in the 16th century, many data was collected regarding the motion of the planets observed by our scientists, and these data were used by one of the great scientists. He is Johannes Kepler, and he made the laws on motion of the planets, and they are familiarly known as Kepler's laws of planetary motion. So now let's go for learning Kepler's laws of planetary motion. So please go for writing the heading, Kepler's laws of planetary motion, right? Dear students, now let's go for learning the laws of planetary motion given by Johannes Kepler. And he has concentrated more on the planets which revolve around the sun. Observe, here we have the solar system, and here the sun is at the center and all other planets are revolving around it. And what are these planets? They are, one is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Observe, these are the paths on which the planets will move, and these paths are called orbits. When you observe the orbit of every planet, can you tell what is the shape of that? Yes, it is elliptical orbit. So this information was given by Johannes Kepler in his first law. Here I'll write Kepler's first law. First law. Look here. And before going to the statement, I'll draw the figure relevant to that. Look here. Here I'm going to draw the elliptical orbit. It is not exactly circular. Look here. If it is elliptical orbit, you can observe that this part is like a semicircle. This part is like a semicircle. But remaining are extra, right? Hence, it will be having two centers, and these are called foci. One is called focus, another one is called focus. Together called foci. See, according to Johannes Kepler, every planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit, and I call this as the planet. Every planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit, and sun is situated at one of the two foci. This is position of the sun. The sun may be either at this position or at this position. So that is why when the planet is revolving around the sun, sometimes it comes close to the sun and sometimes it will be away from the sun. Clear? This is first law. Once I make the statement, every planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit with sun is situated at one of the two foci. As this law is related to orbit of the planets, hence we call it as law of orbit. Followed? Next, I'll write the statement later. Second one. Let's move on to second law of planetary motion. Observe again. Here I'll draw the elliptical orbit. This is the elliptical orbit. It has two centers and they are called foci, and sun is situated at one of the two foci, and this is the position of the planet. Look here. Here I am going to take the distance between sun and the planet. I have shown that with a dotted line. Look here. And the planet will start moving in the elliptical orbit. It may cover some distance. So this is the first position and is the second position. After some time it has taken the second position. Again I am going to draw the line which joins sun and the second position of the planet. And it sweeps some area. I have shaded that area. Similarly, it comes like this. You may take third position here, wherever you want. I am taking the third position here. Again, let me go for joining the imaginary line which joins sun and the third position of the planet. And with the same time, here it may be after 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is. If you consider after 3 days, and here also I will take after 3 days, and it covers some distance. And it takes the position. I call this position as 4. And again it covers some area. Look here. Here, when you find out the area swept by this imaginary line, so these two areas will be equal. So from this we can conclude that we can state the second law of planetary motion as the imaginary line joining sun and the planet sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. What amount of area is covered by the planet with respect to some time, with respect to the same time, the same area will also be covered in all the parts. Followed. Here I write area of 1s2. 1s2 is equal to area of 3s4. 3s4. Followed. These two areas will be equal. Once I repeat, second law states that the imaginary line joining sun and the planet sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. As this is related to area, hence we call it as law of area. Forward. Now let's move on to third one. It is third law. Look here. Again, I am going to draw the elliptical orbit. Let me draw elliptical orbit. Observe this carefully. Yeah. It has two centers. Each is called focus. So this is the position of the sun. Look here. And I am going to take the distance of the sun from the planet as radius. Whether the radius will be same at all the position? No. Hence I take the average distance between sun and the planet as capital R. Then we know that a planet takes some time to complete one revolution around the sun. What do you call that? It is called time period. The time taken by the planet to complete one revolution around the sun is called time period. On comparing these two, we can come to know that it is R cube, that is cube of the distance between, average distance between sun and the planet will be directly proportional to the square of period of revolution of the planet. That means here R cube by T square is equal to constant. You may take the cube of the distance from sun to any planet divided by the time period of square of time period of revolution of that particular planet. For all the planets, it will be constant. You will get the same value. This is the third law. And we can state like this. Third law, Kepler's planetary motion, third law states that the cube of average distance between sun and the planet is directly proportional to square of the time period of revolution of the planet. So, as this is related to period of revolution, hence we call this law as law of period. Now, dear students, now I am going to state all the three laws once. Then afterwards, you have to write the statement yourself. Okay? Go through this. First law. The law of orbit or the first law of planetary motion states that every planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit with sun is situated at one of the two foci. Second law or law of area states that the imaginary line joining sun and the planet sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. And the third law or the law of period states that the cube of average distance between the sun and the planet is directly proportional to the square of period of revolution of the planet. Clear? Yes, go for writing this statement yourself. Even I too will go for writing. Afterwards you can check with your writing. Dear students, please go through this. Here I have written the statements of all the three laws. The first law, that is law of orbit, it states that every planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit with the sun is situated at one of the two foci. Hope that you have written the same. And observe whether you have, and check that whether you have drawn the figure like this. Second law, nothing but law of orbit. It states that the imaginary line joining sun and a planet sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. Sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. That has been written. Look here. Area of 1s2 is equal to area of 3s4. Next, third law, it states that it is nothing but the period, law of period. It states that the cube of average distance between the sun and a planet is directly proportional to the square of period of revolution of a planet. Check whether you have written the same. And this is the figure, you must draw this. And do remember, this is the only law which can be expressed mathematically like this. R cube is directly proportional to t square, or R cube by t square equal to constant, or t square by R cube is constant. Okay. Dear students, in today's class, we have got lot of information regarding this chapter, gravitation, particularly the numerical problems as well as the laws of planetary motion. Please do work out them today itself without fail. So, and in tomorrow's class, again we are going to continue the same chapter. Got it? So with this, let us stop the class. Thank you very much.